Hey everybody, welcome to Hattrick's Unofficial Flyers podcast. It's Rick Mullen and my son Sean. We're down here at the Flyers game, Game 6. Who thought we would go to Game 6?
Not me.
Me neither. I thought we were done in 5. That's what I called it originally. Same?
Same.
All right, well listen, feeling good about tonight. Sounds like Mishkov's back in the game. Sounds like Garner Hathaway's out. Sounds like maybe Forster's on the 4th. We don't know yet. We didn't see the lines, but I think that sounds good to me. I think that puts a score on every line. So I think we're going to do well tonight. All right, we're going to come out with 4-2.
5-3.
5-3 for Sean. All right, let's go Flyers.
Go Flyers.
Number 1. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Hattrick's Unofficial Flyers podcast. I'm Rick Mullen. I'll be your host today, and the Flyers win. The Flyers win last night, Game 6 versus Pittsburgh, and they are going to the second round. Look at that. What a game. We're going to talk about it. I was down that game, but let's go over some of the boring stuff, and then we're going to get into the game itself. So, wow. I mean, just what a game. I lost my voice last night screaming, and I'm struggling with it a little bit today, but let's talk. Let's talk stats. The Pittsburgh Penguins had 42 shots to the Flyers' 32. The Pittsburgh Penguins had 26 hits to the Flyers' 45. Penalty minutes were even across the board. 4 with Pittsburgh, 4 for Philly. Percentage of faceoff. The faceoff percentage was 51.7% to the Penguins, 48.3% to Philly. And what a game. The Flyers come out, Game 6 at home. They go 3 periods with no goals. No goals. Silvos didn't get any past them. Vladdy didn't get any past them. We're going to overtime. I'm not going to complain about all the missed calls the refs made because us fans in the stands were going crazy that they weren't calling anything. But now that the game's over and it's meaningless at this point because the Flyers put the Penguins to bed and won that game last night, I'm not going to get into that. But we're going into overtime, and let's talk about that overtime period. So Flyers go to overtime. The whole place is nervous. Fans, I'm chewing my fingernails. I'm wringing my hands. Everyone in my section is nervous and upset. This game did not look good for the Flyers late. The Penguins had a lot of good plays in the third period. I mean, Dan Vladar, he had some breakdowns in our defensive zone where the Penguins passed to the slot to an open player. Nobody's on them. I think it was 3 times this happened, 3 times. And I mean, it was literally just Dan Vladar and a Penguin. And the Penguins are like stick handling real quick in front of him, trying to get him to blade. And Dan's on the ground trying to cover the 5-hole on the sides. And there's nobody there but just him and this guy. And the Penguins didn't rush it either. They took time to try to make a couple little moves in front and score. But Dan stuck with them and gave the defenseman on our team time to come over and pick that open man up. But, I mean, on the doorstep, 2 or 3 guys just hit them and Dan 2 times, and Dan Vladar was able to keep them off the board. Crazy play, from Dan Vladar last night. So going into overtime, we weren't feeling good. That thought was there. We could still win this. It's a fluke goal. It's going to be a greasy goal. It's going to get this thing done. And when overtime started, the Flyers, you could tell they were getting outplayed. The ice was leaning more towards the Flyers' end. Pittsburgh was all over us. They were shooting from everywhere. They had set up plays. They could get into our zone where we couldn't get into their zone. I'm going to say it right now, hands down, the Penguins outplayed the Flyers in overtime, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's what matters is what the score was at the end of the game. And lo and behold, you had a good game from Mishkov offensively. He had made some good plays. He got a semi breakaway. He had some good assists. He had some good passes. He did have the assist on the game winner from York. And York goes and he sees a little traffic in front of the net, and he just throws this little wrist shot at the 17:32 mark, high at the net. Noah Cates is blocking Silvos's sight. So Mishkov comes up the boards, throws a backhand saucer pass over to York. York accepts it, skates a little bit, and just throws a little wrist shot at the net. And it goes in top right corner, beats Silvos. Game's over. Crowd goes crazy. Goes crazy. York goes even crazier. York skates halfway through center ice, takes his stick and wings it up into the fans, skates down into the corner behind Vlad, and the whole team rushes down there, going crazy. Everyone's hugging everybody. TK pulls away from the group of players, and he's solely on the glass, like banging the glass, cheering on with the Flyer fans. And then he skates to center ice, and he's giving everybody the, hey, yo, get louder, get louder. So TK partied more with the fans, I think, than he did his team, which was really awesome, man. Like he wanted this for this city, and it just shows the love he has for the fan base and what it means to him to be able to have this team deliver a win for the Flyers fans. Vladdy's up there. He's 6'8". He's doing the pump. He's doing all kinds of stuff, and he's pumped. What a great game. I mean, it was a nail biter. It was everything you wanted from a game in overtime in the playoffs, and more importantly, thank God we closed the door on those crybabies. Thank God. It was a big, big win for us. I'm happier than can be. I hate the Pittsburgh Penguins. I hate that organization. I hate their players. I hate their mentality. I hate their dirtiness, their scummy plays. They're crying. They're, flopping. They're holding their arms if someone touches them. They embellish everything. They are a bunch of losers, in my opinion. I don't care how many cups they win. If you have to win a cup like that, then you shouldn't have won the cup to begin with. But again, can't take history back. It is what it is. But man, I am thrilled today. It was such a good game. I am so glad that the Flyers closed the door, put however you want to say, close the door, put the nails in the coffin. There's a meme out there about Gritty knocking a door down, and it's him punching or knocking over a penguin who's laying on the door in in a dark room, and then Gritty walks away, but then all of a sudden he comes back real quick and he drags the penguin out down the hallway with him. We're having a lot of fun here in Philly. We're having a whole lot of fun here in Philly right now. The Flyers win. They go on to the second round of the playoffs, which I don't think they have dates of the games out yet of when it's going to start, but they will see the Carolina Hurricanes, who have been resting for a little bit because they swept their series 4-0 against the Ottawa Senators. Man, it gives us some time, hopefully, to heal. You could tell that there were a lot of guys that were hurt. Tippett had like one really good rush. What a play. So I think it was in the third period, or was it overtime? Might have been overtime. Tippett had a rush, and he went wide on somebody, but he couldn't get 100% past him. So he had to end up doing this spin around where he went in, spun around, put a backhand on the net, bounced the puck off of Silvos's pads, and it went right out to Martone. And in this process, Silvos goes and drops his stick. He gets knocked kind of out of his hands, and this is all happening in like a split second. So his stick is falling on the ice in front of the crease. And at the same time, the puck's going over to Martone, and Martone goes and backhands it into an open net. And lo and behold, it hits the stick that's laying on the ice unused. It wasn't in Silvos's hands. It was laying on the ice, and it hits the stick, and that's the only reason that puck didn't go in, and Martone didn't have the game winner. So, man, great series. We were pumped. Fans were going crazy in the center. It was really a really good game to be at. I'm happy for the city. I'm happy for all us fans. I'm really happy for the Flyers. I'm more so happy for Vladdy. Vladdy deserved that. I mean, he was a man on a mission last night. He stopped 42 shots by the Pittsburgh Penguins. I think they outshot us by like 11 shots, I think, in overtime. And Vladdy was there. He was incredible last night. He basically said, this is not getting past me tonight. And he stood on his head and he got his shutout. What a game. So we have the 3 stars, the night where Artur Silovs, however you pronounce his name, was the 3rd star. Cam York was the 2nd star, and Vladar was the 1st star of the night. Kind of looking at stats, and I didn't realize this during the game, but out of all our players, the person or the player with the most shots on net was actually, a drum roll, right? Cam York. Cam York had five shots on net. There were a couple other players on this team who had 3 shots, but that was it. 5 shots on net by York. So he was due, and he got one for us. Matvey Mishkov returns. He gets a big assist on the game winner. He had a nice breakaway, so he was definitely contributing on the offensive side. He struggles defensively. Defensively, he struggles, but that's for another day. But all in all, this team played well. Big minutes. I mean, some big minutes on the ice. Ristolainen played now let's start with the most. Travis Sanheim had 31 minutes and 20 seconds. Risto had 30 minutes and 12 seconds. Jamie Drysdale had 29 minutes and 59 seconds. Cam York had 28 minutes and 34 seconds. A lot of our defensemen were out there for a long period of time. So I'm sure they're tired. I'm sure they're going to get some treatments. They're going to eat some good food. They're going to try to get back their strength and prepare for the Carolina Hurricanes. And we will be down there again. We will be down there again for that series. We'll be in the center. Looking forward to hopefully the Flyers coming back with a split. When the Flyers played the Carolina Hurricanes this year, they lost what they lose? They lost all of them, I'm pretty sure. And I think 2 of them went to overtime. No, I'm sorry. I think we played them 3 times. 2 went to overtime when we lost. The 3rd one we won, I think, in overtime. But that was the one where they sat all their stars. But when you look back at the first 2 games, and in my opinion, those are the 2 that count, because we played them. I do not believe we had Forster in the lineup when we played them. We actually played no Martone in that lineup. We didn't have I'm not even sure if I guess he was. I was going to say, I'm not even sure if Barkey was up at that point, and Bump wasn't in the lineup at that point at all either. So, these were games where we played really hard against the Hurricanes. We were in those games. Those games were close. It could have went either way. Matter of fact, in overtime, the Flyers actually scored. I think Bobby Brink scored and won the game, and then we all skated off the ice. There was a review where they called us back out from the dressing room and put us back on the ice, and then Carolina came and won the game after that. So there was some controversy early. There were 2 teams that don't, at least our team doesn't look similar to those teams that were playing back then. So I think the Carolina Hurricanes are going to get a different look from us. This 4th line wasn't together like it is now in the last, few games of the year. And, it's possible. It's possible that the Flyers, I'm not saying they're going to win. Everyone's looking at the Flyers as an underdog, and they are, hands down. Carolina is a really, really good team with a really, really good system. But I don't think Anderson's a better goalie than Vlad. I think we have a little bit of a heads up on goaltending. I don't think that the Canes have solved this team yet, the way it's built right now. So I think we're going to surprise them. I'm really hoping that we split games in Carolina. Hopefully we come back home and it's 1-1. And I think it's going to be a good series. I really hope it's going to be a good series. So I think the Flyers can hang with them. I do think the Canes can take it to another level, but last 12 games of the year, this series, the Flyers did take it to another level. When we got to that 4th game where we had to win it, I think the Flyers got nervous and the young kids weren't sure how to win, and the vets were, probably gripping their sticks a little much too. So, I think going into the next round, I think they're going to be a little more looser, and I think they can play better. For me, at this point, this is just gravy. The Flyers weren't expected to be there. The Flyers weren't expected to beat the Penguins. I just cared about this round. Don't get me wrong, I care about them all, but I just wanted the Flyers to win this round. I hate the Penguins, and I did not want to lose to the Penguins. So I'm glad we got past this round, but at this point moving forward, I'm going to cheer just as hard and I'm going to hope just as hard as they win. But I don't have as much skin in the game per se because I don't have hate for the Carolina Hurricanes. Rob Brindamore, I love him. I think he was a great Flyer. So I just hope that series is a really good series. I hope the Flyers continue to get better as this series goes by. Again, I hope we get close. I hope we take it to at least 7 games. If the Flyers can't win faster, that would make it a really cool ending. Either way it goes, the Flyers take them to 7. That's a good performance by this young Flyers team. So one of my favorite shirts from this year, and we're gonna look at this thing. This is it right here. Look at this. I love this shirt. I'm going to wear this many times going forward, and this is what I wanted to say to the Penguins right here. Fuck everybody on that club and that organization. They are done. They're out. I hope that closes the door on some of their careers. I hope they split that team up and they move them all into different places. But let's talk next game about the Carolina Hurricanes and Flyers once they get that under their belt. Excited to see it. Can't wait for them to start. I don't know if it's going to be like Monday or Wednesday next week. Some people were saying like maybe this weekend, but I don't know. I don't see if that's possible. I'm thinking maybe Monday night possibly. But anyhow, congratulations to the Flyers. Congratulations to Philly, all the fans out there that have hung with this team. I'm hoping some of you people out there that have been talking through this year about Danny and Jonesy and these players and who should have been traded. I hope this gives you a little more peace of mind with what this team has done organizationally, from a farm system. Like these young kids coming up, they all look good. I think we have a lot more talent than people realize. I think the kids just need some time to grow, and they're going to. And I do think some will be moved. I do think pieces will be bought in the offseason. So I'm really looking at this club right now as having a really good future moving forward with what we're seeing, not just from the players, but from management as well. So again, until next game, you can reach us at hattrickspodcast99@gmail.com. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. We're on Spotify, Amazon, Facebook. Find us. Please listen, like, and subscribe. We really appreciate all the time you guys take to listen and to these podcasts. And until next week sometime, go Flyers.